You know, we know that a lot of people are upset tonight. The winners are excited, and the people who don't win are not. And for those Trump supporters,
here's what I would say. Here's what I'd say to the folks, which is, and you were just, I think, in Arizona, which is that right now the president's actually on track to win that state. The last 200,000 votes that have been counted there since Election Day, about 55% of those have gone to the president. And it's likely there's at least 200,000 votes still remaining to be counted in Arizona. And if those percentages hold against that total, then the president will win Arizona, which brings Georgia and Pennsylvania into even more focus. We already know there's going to be a recount in Georgia. We fully expect there to be litigation and possibly a recount in Pennsylvania as well. So, look, I get that media outlets have called the race. You and I both know that doesn't mean anything other than PR and shows like this tonight. But we're going to go through the process. The states will certify the results. Those results will be challenged either through recounts or litigation or both. And my guess is it's probably 3-4 weeks at least before we know the final and official, and that's the key part, the official outcome of this election.
Well, that's pretty usual. You know, the networks call it, and then one side celebrates, the other side goes home to regroup. But in this case, though, there are a lot of not that legal challenges are unusual, but the unusual thing, Mick, is that there are accusations of real crimes here. There are accusations of voter fraud, widespread voter fraud. Do you have any evidence? I haven't seen any evidence at all, and we've looked really hard.
Yeah, and neither have I. And I'd be the first one to say that sooner or later you do have to put up or shut up when it comes to the evidence. Now, that being said, if you were going to do this properly, and I've got every reason to believe that the Trump team is, the first thing that you do is make sure that the evidence is not affected to whether you can't get the remedy that you want. What does that mean? For example, they're asking out to segregate votes that came in after Election Day. I think they won a lawsuit along those lines either yesterday or today. I lose track of the days in Pennsylvania. Why do you start with that? You start with that because once those votes are mixed, it's very difficult to sort of get any sort of remedy should you prevail later on. So the first thing you do is make sure you preserve evidence and you make sure that nothing is done that cannot be undone if the courts say to undo something. So it doesn't surprise me that the hard evidence is not out there yet. But I'll be the first to agree with you that day is soon coming. Allegations are not enough. Allegations alone will last about 30 seconds in court. You need to have those facts sooner rather than later.
The president, do we expect to hear from him? Or will there be a sea change in, there's a couple ways to go here, Mick. You can go out quietly and with respect and dignity and solidify that sort of thing for your legacy. Or you can go out kicking and screaming and solidify that for your legacy. Has the decision been made? Do we know?
Shep, I have not asked that question, but I think it's going to be a little bit of both. What do I mean by that? There's going to be kicking and screaming and fighting like dogs and cats between now and the end of the process, whenever that happens. By the way, I think we should all want to see that. You've mentioned a couple times the importance of everybody knowing that this was fair and this was the right outcome. You cannot have these allegations floating around for 4 years about dead people voting in one state and people voting from the wrong state in another. Everyone is well served by a full litigation of this so that we know that every legal vote is counted and no legal vote is counted. I think that's absolutely critical, and you're going to have that, and it could be really messy and slow for the next couple of weeks. But at the end of the process, I know the president very well. If you get to the end of the process and the Supreme Court, for example, says Joe Biden is the president, that's the end of it, I absolutely expect the president to act as the president, as he has done, more than I think people give him credit for.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.